Welcome back to another explainer. You know, when we look up at the night sky, we usually just see these quiet, twinkling little points of light, right? But the reality, well, it's a whole lot darker. The cosmos is literally filled with awe-inspiring, chaotic, and just unimaginably massive stellar threats. Today, we're zooming in on some of the absolute most terrifying entities out there, stars that genuinely hold the catastrophic potential to wipe out life as we know it.
Okay, let's dive into this. Here is the full lineup for our cosmic tour today. The top, absolute scariest stars that could actively threaten our planet. We've got 6 distinct, downright terrifying celestial giants here. I'm talking everything from blinding blue titans to fiery red supergiants, and each one holds its own unique method of absolute destruction. We're going to break down this entire lineup one by one, looking strictly at the data, just to understand exactly how they could, well, bring about our demise.
So here's our flight plan for this journey. 1. Threats from the cosmos. 2. The supernova ticking bombs. 3. Gravitational system disruptors. And 4. The silent atmospheric threat.
Starting right off with Part 1, Threats from the Cosmos and Understanding Earth's Vulnerability. Now, to really grasp the sheer scale of the danger here, we've got to realize that our entire planet is incredibly tiny compared to the mass of these entities. I mean, we are literally a speck. We're focusing specifically on the 6 scariest stars identified as direct threats to Earth. And I promise you, by the end of this explainer, you're going to know exactly what these specific monsters are capable of doing to our little pale blue dot.
Moving right along to Chapter 2, the supernova ticking bombs, also known as the explosive giants. Meet R1366A1. Honestly, the best 2 words to describe this star are massive and unstable. It's practically bursting at the seams because it burns through its fuel at this violently accelerated rate. And because of that extreme instability, R1366A1 is a prime candidate to explode as a supernova in the near future, just unleashing all that pent-up energy all at once. But what does a supernova threat actually mean for us down here? Well, drawing from the catastrophic potential of another star on our list, UY Canis Majoris, it means a star erupting and blasting Earth with lethal radiation. We're not just talking about a big, bright flash of light here. It projects unimaginable amounts of deadly, high-energy radiation directly across the cosmos, right into our path. So the crucial point is that we are looking at imminent dangers here. Take these 2 explosive stellar threats, for example. You've got UY Canis Majoris, which is described as being completely ready to erupt, fully capable of hitting Earth with that lethal radiation we just talked about. And right below it, you've got Betelgeuse, which is literally labeled a ticking bomb. Actually, let's focus deeply on Betelgeuse for just a second. This is a nearby red supergiant that could explode at literally any moment. And what makes it particularly dramatic is our sheer proximity to it. If you've been following astronomy lately, you probably know its recent super mysterious dimming caused a massive wave of concern that it was basically about to pop. Just imagine knowing a star hovering right above us is constantly on the verge of erupting.
Now, we've talked a lot about sudden, violent eruptions. But do stars actually need to explode to threaten Earth? Like, is lethal radiation the only way they can wipe us out? Keep that question right in the back of your mind, because the answer is going to completely shift how we view celestial danger.
That brings us to Chapter 3, Gravitational System Disruptors, or the Invisible Pole. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the direct contrast here. On the one side, you have a ticking bomb like Betelgeuse that relies on a sudden, catastrophic blast. But on the other side, we have a completely different category, a giant monster like UY Scuti. And this type of threat, it promises to systematically and quietly disrupt our entire solar system.
UY Scuti holds the totally terrifying title of being one of the largest known stars in existence. To put this giant monster into perspective for you, if you were to somehow place it right in the center of our solar system, its outer edges would stretch all the way past the orbit of Jupiter. It's just looming out there in the cosmos, an absolute massive heavyweight champion of the stars.
And because of that immense scale, it could completely disrupt our solar system. See, it doesn't even have to blast us with radiation. By simply existing with this unimaginable gravitational footprint, a passing star of this colossal size has the sheer gravitational power to just throw the orbits of all our planets into absolute chaos. Next up in this category, we have Scariest, which is perfectly described as deceptively dangerous. You know, Scariest doesn't look like a giant monster, and it's certainly not a ticking bomb ready to burst. It looks incredibly peaceful, just twinkling brightly in our sky. But its threat is entirely hidden and highly, highly deceptive.
Let's move to and see how this builds into an actual threat. The danger from Scariest comes in this really insidious two-step process. First, it possesses a white dwarf companion star, which is this incredibly dense, heavy stellar corpse. Second, as it moves, that heavy companion actually acts on our system and could disrupt Earth's orbit over time. So over thousands of years, that quiet gravitational tug-of-war could literally drag our planet right out of its habitable zone.
Which leads us into Chapter 4, the silent atmospheric threat and stripping away life. Meet Gliese 710. Its designation alone is bone-chilling, a silent threat. This creates such a stark, eerie contrast to the massive volatile giants we talked about earlier. Gliese 710 is not going to loudly announce its destructive intentions with some massive supernova explosion. No, it is going to approach Earth's destruction with absolute stealth.
The mechanics of this attack are incredibly simple, but utterly devastating. Gliese 710 is a red dwarf, and it's prone to intense solar flaring. So as it passes close to our solar system, those violent flares, which are basically blasts of intense stellar wind, could literally strip Earth's atmosphere away. It doesn't blow the planet up, it simply peels back the incredibly thin shield of gas that actually allows us to breathe and survive.
And this brilliantly illustrates everything we've covered today. We face explosive giants, R136A1, VY Canis Majoris, and Betelgeuse, ready to bathe us in lethal radiation. We have gravitational monsters, UY Scuti and Scariest, prepared to pull our solar system and orbit entirely apart. And finally, the silent threat, Gliese 710, just waiting to strip away our atmosphere. 6 stars, 3 entirely different, but equally terrifying methods of total destruction.
So, that brings us to a final, really provocative thought to leave you with. Amidst these towering celestial giants, is Earth's destruction just a matter of time? We live our daily lives largely unaware of the ticking bombs, the giant monsters, and the silent threats surrounding us out there in the dark. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, diving into the terrifying side of the cosmos. Keep looking up, and keep wondering, what exactly is looking back?